We have an example in our training room of W tile, flat tile, and S tile. So we change these up all the time just based on some training that we're doing. And the examples I want to show here is how to work with these tiles. So these are interlocking concrete tiles. The most modern tile, most common for modern construction. You will run into other tiles that are not this type. But for the most part, you will be installing a lot on these roofs. For other type of tile roofs, you can contact us and we can help you depending on the location. I know in Florida, they typically glue in the tile roofs or foam them in or mortar them in with an adhesive for a lot of the high winds they have there. So that's a whole nother ball game. But in most of the other part of the US, you get these interlocking concrete tiles in the S, flat, and W shapes. So working with these tiles is not too difficult. As we mentioned before in the construction segment, we talked about plywood, underlayment, decking, and then tiles, battens and then the tiles, but you don't always have the battens. So in Southern California, where K2 is based, we're in the San Diego area. It's kind of a mix, 50-50. You get some battens, some no battens. But in the Los Angeles County, it's very much dominated by no battens and direct attached with a nail going through every single tile. So when you're working with these roofs, you want to see how that's done. I've seen some installers to remove a tile, just grab the tile, shake it out, and rip it out. And you can do that in some cases, but make sure you take in consideration that nail that you ripped out and putting some sealant on there to seal it up. The gentle way to remove a tile is pretty simple. These interlocks, there's a lot of weight, so you're releasing that weight in the hooks. So in this case, this is an S tile here. You prop up the tile here, and if you take another bar, you don't have to do this, but this is just one way to do it. You could prop this one up here, and that relieves the tension on the hook there. They call these cap and pan, so this is the cap going over the pan there. And then you can remove this tile out, and you can see what's going on there. Again, you can just pull these tiles out once you get more familiar with them. I've seen installers become experts at this and just pull them out pretty easily. And then lifting them up and putting them back in. But if you're doing a site visit and you want to be gentle with the roof, this is a good way to do it. Just prop it up with either a hammer or bar, anything to prop it up, release the tension on the tile, the pressure, and then you can start investigating and seeing what's going on underneath here, finding your rafter. You can use stud finders actually if you wanted to, because it's just felt paper, some kind of underlayment, or which is felt paper here in this case, plywood, and then the rafter. So most installers are using the hammer, batten on it. This is a roofing bar that we like to use a lot, that has the flat part but also has this edge, and you can find out where the rafter is there and then make your penetrations with whatever mounting system you're using. So grinding away tiles for tile hooks is kind of an old school method. The S tiles, as you can see here, have a lug on the bottom side there where you can chip that away and have the tile hook come out and not even disturb this surface area here, or take a grinder and just buzz away where the hook is. Pretty easy to do. But where you get into some difficult situations is some of these other thinner tiles. On the flat tile, you could see right here, we've grinded away this one. That's a little bit more involved. You can see we made our marks here where the hook's coming out, and you grind it out. You got to grind back the lug. Just depends on the tile roof itself. This is not as bad. It's a thick, flat tile roof. And then you get to the W style tile that has that W or M shape, and these ones are not very easy to grind away. So this lug tends to break. It's too much cutting. It's just a hassle, and I'm sure some installers don't even bother with cutting tile unless it's the S tile. The S tile, again, you could chip it away and it's pretty easy, and you can have your hook come out. Uses the natural tiles. You don't need replacement flashings in most cases, but with flat tile and W tile, we do have the replacement tile flashings. We have some down here. This is for the flat. We've talked about these interlocks here. These work fantastic with the flat tile, W tile, and we do have some for the S tile as well. So you can remove the tiles completely and do the replacement tile flashing, and then you have extra tiles. So you're going to break tiles. Walking on tiles is just inevitable, no matter how careful you are. You do want to step on, when you're stepping on the tile roof, you want to step on the bottom half of the section, because you can see it's supported here by another tile about 3-4 inches, sometimes even 2 inches, depends on the roofer. But you have some support there, so that's the best place to step. Not necessarily in the center, because if you get a hairline fracture, you can just pop and break that tile. So when you're working with these tiles, just be conscious of the shoes you're wearing. You might not want the big bulky construction boots. Some installers use Merrells or some Vans, just something that's pliable and is gentle on the roof, but also offers a little bit of protection as well. So again, working with these tile style, concrete tile style roofs, the flat tile, W tile, and S tile are very standard. Again, you can grind away the bottom edge of this for S tile, but we do have replacement tile flashings for all profiles. So when you're using flat and W, I would say use replacement tile flashings. You can with S tile, or use the original tile that are in place. Some installers will even use the original tiles around the perimeter and replace the other ones on the inside of the array. That way they get extra tiles and they can replace them on the roof where they might have broken some tiles. So everyone's been there. When you walk around, sometimes these tiles just break. Maybe the homeowner did their Christmas lights and broke them. You can replace those with the replacement tile flashing extra pieces that you get. So once again, S tile, W tile, flat tile. If you have questions on any other style tile roofs, you can always take a picture and send them to your K2 technical rep, and we will evaluate that and get some answers for you and try to pick the best product for that project.